UIC Liberty TV. Change you can trust.
Imagine a world without choices. Imagine you can't make your own decision. That wouldn't be a world for me. That wouldn't be a world for you. UIC.
Tell them we're gonna be stronger. Together we can make it right. Our purpose is a better Jamaica for you and I. Gonna be stronger together. Time we all just unify. Our purpose is a better Jamaica for you and I. It is a natural right for every human.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another edition of UIC Liberty TV. This is Joseph Patterson, and tonight we're going to be talking with Mr. Kenneth Harper, the councillor candidate for the, the Mount Industry Division in St. Catherine. So we're going to be talking with Mr. Harper momentarily. Welcome to everyone online, whether you are on our YouTube page, UIC Liberty TV, or you may be on Facebook or Twitter or some other account. But thank you so much for being here with us. Big up yourself, Ann Gore. See you on. Good evening. Sophia Bell Henry. Good to see you on as well. Good night to you. And For the Truth and Juliet Chambers. I know you've been waiting for a while, but we're here now and we're ready to get into the discussion. I'm just hoping that Mr. Harper will be available soon to join us on the talk. As you know, every so often we bring on a new candidate to discuss, what attracted them to the UIC, how much they know about the movement, and what are their plans for their constituency or division. Jamaica has two sets of governance. We have what is called local government, which is the municipal level. At this level, you're dealing with councillor candidates who run the municipalities, the different parishes from, Montego Bay or St. James in the west to Portland or St. Thomas in the east. So we have a number of candidates here. In fact, 228 divisional position, councillor candidate divisional position, and 63 MP candidates constituency. So tonight we're going to be talking with one of the councillor candidates, Mr. Harper, and I see Mr. Harper ready in the background, so I'm going to bring him on shortly to chat with him. Hope you all had a good evening and you're settled in, had a good day at work or whatever you were doing, school or church. Somebody's asking if Mr. Harper's YouTube channel is active. I'm sorry, Ms. Gore, I'm not aware of Mr. Harper having a YouTube channel, so you have to ask him that when he gets here. But I see Mr. Harper now. Mr. Harper, good evening, sir. How are you doing today? Mr. Harper, can you hear me? Mr. Harper, can you hear me, sir? All right, is he frozen? He looks like he's in a frozen position on my screen here. So he's hearing, well, I'm seeing him in a frozen state, but I'm not able to hear him. So let me put him back in the back room until such time. All right, so while we wait for Mr. Harper to join us, let me just tell you about what's coming up in December. So in December, we're going to be having our Christmas dinner. Normally we have a Christmas banquet starting last year, but this year the UIC is not having the annual Christmas banquet, so we're going to have a Christmas dinner at my place on the farm on December 23rd. So you're all invited. Just go online and donate $50 to the to the dinner. It's a fundraiser actually for my personal campaign. So you're all welcome to help and to join into that. Let me see if Mr. Harper is now here. Let's try him again. 1 second. Hello, Mr. Harper. Can you hear me now? Okay, still look like he's having some problems. Mr. Harper, can you hear me? He's in a rural part of Jamaica, so maybe they're having some internet connectivity problems there. But yeah, so we're going to have our Christmas dinner. I put the flyer up here so you can see it. It's going to be on Saturday, the 23rd of December at 4:30 p.m. So you can RSVP for your tickets or your donations at 876-293-0812, which is our main office number. Or you can go on our website at uicjamaica.com. Of course, you all know that recently I retired from public office, from, public life, if you will. But the situation is such that the feedback we're getting is that I need to stay involved. And so I came back as chairman for the party. So I'm currently chairman of the party right now. And Dr. Coretta Brown Johnson is the president. Mr. Winston Wright is back at being VP and also deputy chairman. And he's a candidate for Western Westmoreland. So I am involved now at the chairman level and trying to ensure that we stay on top of our governance and so on. I'm also looking at seriously contesting the Northeast St. Elizabeth seat. That's where I've been preparing for some time now. But as you know, I was retiring. But based on the feedback, I think I need to jump in. And my wife is going to try to hold down things on the family and financial front. Of course, I'm still going to be very involved in those years as well, but we have to balance things out. So we're going to share the load. So she's not going to be involved in the administration of the UIC anymore because somebody has to focus on what's happening, on the home front. So on Saturday, December 23rd, we're going to have the dinner. We're looking forward to having a lot of people from the surrounding communities, Elam, Braze River, Georges Valley, Santa Cruz, Seven Corners, Balaclava area, Shiloh, just getting all the people out. And of course, from outside the constituency as well, you're going to have people from Kingston, of course, and different parishes coming over. So we're looking forward to that. Let's see if we can get Mr. Harper back on here. Still seem to be having some problems. Mr. Harper? Wow. Ronald Johnson is asking if who is running for South St. James. We do not have a candidate yet for South St. James. If you know someone who wants to run, please tell them to raise their hand and, go on the website and sign up as a candidate so we can vet them and get them running. Or you yourself, Ronald, if you are able to run, Kirk says good night, Sir Patterson. Good night to you as well, Kirk. Good to see you on as always. You're always here with us. Peace and blessings to you as well, Scotty. Boy, I don't know what's going on with Mr. Kenneth Harper, but he's still having some challenges. He's in the background, but he's not. He's frozen. So he's frozen right now. Not quite sure. Oh, let's see if there's any change. Mr. Harper, can you hear me, sir? Hello, Mr. Harper, can you hear me? Oh, so he's having rain over there in, where Mr. Harper is, is where my maternal family is from, the maternal side of my family, up in the Glengolf area there. So I'm interested in talking with him to see what connections we might have over there. Yes, we have some heavy rains and stuff, so St. Elizabeth is also hit, but we're surviving quite well. I'm not in parish right now. All right, wonderful, Miss Chambers. But everybody, you can all you can all donate and contribute to our fundraiser. Here's the sad reality: we have to raise between 10 and 12 million dollars to compete effectively in the election. Elections, unfortunately, are driven largely by the amount of money you have to spend. Um, you know, so we have to raise these funds to get this done. Good evening, Maurice Williams. Well, while we're waiting for Mr. Harper, let me take some questions or any thoughts you want to share with me. Hopefully, he'll be on soon. Anything in particular you want me to talk about while we're waiting for Mr. Harper? Let me know, please. Go ahead. Just you know, in fact, what I'm going to do, I'm going to share a link with you in the chat section. So if you want to come on and speak with me live, you can do that. Let me see if I can achieve that right now. 1 second here. I'm going to try. I've never done this before, but I'm going to try it now. So here's a link, and I will see if I can admit one or two of you if you want to have a live chat with me while we're waiting for Mr. Kenneth Harper to join. So hope you can see the link. Let me know if you see the link in the chat section there, and you can hop on and join. We can talk about any subject you want. We can talk about Israel and Hamas. We can talk about the Maroons. I hope you enjoyed our discussion the other night on the Maroons. We're going to continue. We had some interruption from the powers that be. We're going to try to have a part 2 and get into more details about the Maroons in Jamaica. Yes, and what you can do, you can also, for the dinner, you can actually buy a ticket or two and donate so we can give it to somebody on the ground. There are many persons in my constituency, for example, who would not be able to purchase a ticket. So if you purchase a ticket, we can actually give it to somebody to attend, from different areas. I see Mr. Harper trying to come in again, but still having some problems. All right, Black Media, IPTV says, I am Dr. Bobby Black here in West Palm Beach, Florida. We're actually campaigning for you as the president of the New Republic of Jamaica, ROA, in 2025. Thank you so much, Dr. Bobby Black. Much appreciated. That's the kind of feedback we have been getting from around the world and locally here in Jamaica. So I have had to reconsider my position, but I've also had to make adjustment to my personal life because, as you know, we still have to pay the bills and we have to take care of things. So we're trying to see how best to juggle this, But thank you so much for the vote of confidence. Delton Hamilton says, Mr. Chairman, what's your take on the SAHEL in Africa? See the avatar on your channel, says Mr. Black Media. What exactly are you referring to? And what's this now? Carpel66 says, do you see any possibilities for healthcare improving in Jamaica? Okay, some good questions there. Now, when it comes on to improving anything in Jamaica, the fundamental solution is to understand the fundamental problem. And the fundamental problem for Jamaica is, you can sum it up and call it bad governance. So if you don't have a system of governance that is going to ensure proper checks and balances, that's going to ensure the tax dollars collected actually goes towards the areas of improvement necessary, and that when they're spent in a way that is both efficient and effective, then you're going to have a problem. And so Jamaica's system of governance that we have today does not lend itself well to efficiency or effectiveness. It's highly corrupt, and so even if an existing political party announces a brilliant idea, unless you change the system so you'll have greater accountability, greater transparency, and making it more difficult for corruption to take place, then you're never going to have any good idea being implemented in a way that actually serves the purpose as intended. So that's the problem. So we can have a better healthcare system in Jamaica, but for us to do so, we're going to have to first fix the system. And that's why the UIC is very focused on the systemic solutions that we have identified. And there's a lot to it, but I'll stop there for now. Kirk says, it's good to hear you're getting back in the ring to contest the Northeast St. Elizabeth seat. Thank you, Kirk. Yes, it was a difficult decision because we didn't just retire willy-nilly. We thought about it carefully. We looked at all the factors. And it was a difficult decision. One that we also felt was good for the movement because we do need to have, I think sometimes people get the impression that the UIC belongs to Joseph Patterson, but it doesn't. The UIC belongs to the people of Jamaica, and it must work for the people of Jamaica. So we have to divorce the idea of Joseph Patterson and the UIC. It has to be the UIC for what it stands for. Of course, I am one of a number of persons, and yes, you're going to have persons in the movement who are better skilled in some areas. I am very strong on policy. I'm very strong on solutions, finding solutions. But you might have others who are stronger in other areas, and we need to see that. So sometimes you have to kind of relinquish the leadership role and allow us to see how different persons function in that role. I've always been there, so it's good to see other people now trying it on, and you can assess, and then we can see what makes sense going forward. I think Mr. Harper is now here with us, I hope. Let's see how that goes. Mr. Harper, can you hear me now, sir?
Good evening, Mr. Patterson. Good evening.
Good evening to you, sir. Good evening to you. Wonderful, wonderful. Can you step back a little bit from the video so that we see more of you and less of your face? There you go. There you go. And wonderful. That's much better. Much better. Much better.
Okay.
Yeah, much better. Much better. Now we can see how handsome you look, because before, your face was kind of filling out the whole screen. So
Okay.
with that position now, we can see, we can see better. All right. So I was just kind of filling time for you. I was filling out the space for you while you got connected. I'm getting a feedback from your end. Do you have anything else running, or just your phone alone? Do you have anything else playing? Any other?
Just my phone alone.
Okay, so I'm getting this feedback. I don't know why. All right. Let's see how we do this now. Because we're getting a feedback. You see, every time I speak, it's coming back in the mic.
I get that feedback.
Yes, but I'm not sure what the problem is. Let me. So when I speak, I'm hearing myself coming back through. And I think it has to do with I thought you had two things running. You sure you don't have anything else running? Nothing else running on your end? No other.
That was connected to another phone. So that could be the problem.
Yeah, turn off one device. Just get one alone.
Turn off the other device.
Thank you.
Okay.
And then we can get right into your interview here. Let me know when it's off, when you're good.
It's off. It's off.
Oh, I am
the rain is
getting the feed.
falling outside, so I don't know if that contribute to the.
Right. All right. Well, we're gonna make it work. Let's ask our viewers how it's sound. You people out there, all of you who are listening, are you hearing the feedback on your end? Is it clear? Just say yes if it's clear, and no if it's not clear. Let me know if it's clear. Mic check, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Mic check, mic 1, 2, 3. All right. Can you all hear me? All right. So let's move ahead. I'm not hearing any complaints, so we'll try. So what I'm going to ask you to do. Okay, Maurice is not clear. Do me a favor. Do me a favor, Mr. Harper. Mute your mic for a second. Mute your mic for a second. Just mute. So mute your mic. All right. So I want to do a test now. Ms. Powell and Mr. Delton Hamilton and others, let me know if it's now clear to you. Now that I'm speaking with Mr. Harper's mic muted, can you hear me very clearly without any interruptions whatsoever? Can you hear me clearly? So I've asked Mr. Harper to mute his mic, and I want to know if you can now hear me clearly. So mic check, 1, 2, 3. So mic is now clear. So the problem is clearly on your end, Mr. Harper. So what I'm going to do is when I'm speaking, you're going to mute your mic, and then I'm going to not talk when you're talking so that we can hear clearly. All right, so that's the game plan going forward. So let's begin our conversation tonight now. Mr. Kenneth Harper, welcome to UIC Liberty TV, to which you are no stranger. And thank you for agreeing to do this live interview with us today to introduce yourself to the Jamaican people as the councillor candidate for the Mount Industry Division in St. Catherine under the umbrella of the United Independence Congress of Jamaica, Jamaica's official third registered political party since December 2nd, 2019. Welcome, Mr. Harper. You can now unmute your mic to make a comment.
Yes, good evening, Mr. Patterson. Good evening, Jamaica. Yes, thank you for Liberty TV. It's a pleasure to let Jamaica people know who I am. I am Kenneth Harper, the councillor candidate for Mount Industry Division to include Glengarf, Cassava River, Mount Industry, Mispa, surrounding areas, Freetown, Augustown, Darling Spring, Akazal, and other areas surrounded. So I am representing this Northeast St. Catherine as a councillor candidate to develop this constituency, because over the past, call it 80 years, and especially 50 years that I know myself, because I'm now 52, the community of Glengarf is underdeveloped. Where it's PNP or JLP, the constituency is unmanned, it is forgotten, it is the roads are bad, the water system is there, but it is from the 70s. There's no improvement, and we are especially in the Pangoli Cassava River. I cannot get water for the last say 10, 14 years, even though the water passed my gate. But it is a challenge to get water into my yard, and it's also felt that people from the community also seems to have tampered with the system for them to get private water for themselves. No, it's the NWC water, and it's not a one-man thing. It's everybody business. Water is life, and if water is life, then I think it should be shared for each and every person. The roads leading to my community is very bad. We have no garbage collection that into Pangoli. It might pass this on the main road, but for it to come into my community, it's a no-no. The road is small, and the truck is too big, and they're not sending smaller trucks. They send a big truck that can pull all the garbage in Glengarf community, and it's a problem to us. So most people have to be using the fire method to do away with their garbage. It poses a problem to neighbors, I have to do it myself, and it's very disturbing. So I really want to make a change. That's why I entered the UIC and not the PNP or the JLB, because it has been a long-standing problem over the many years since I know myself.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Harper, for sharing that. So go ahead and mute your mic for me. So my next question to you. So go ahead and mute your mic for me, Mr. Harper. All right. So my next question to you, Mr. Harper, is to tell us a little bit more about yourself as a person. We want to kind of know your family history, your educational background, your vocational background, and then kind of tell us how this prepared you to be a counselor candidate that's going to represent the people of Mount Industry. So I want to get a feel for you, the person now. Who are you? Where you come from? What kind of education you have, and like we feel the person now. We know you share the concerns about what's going on in your community, but we want to feel you. We want to get a good understanding of you, the man. Married, family, children, divorce, rich, poor, whatever. Just kidding. But give me a good feel. Give us a good feel for who is Kenneth Harper and where I'm coming from and what kind of skills him have that lends itself now to him being able to represent others if he's elected to be in the St. Catherine Parish Council. Go ahead, Mr. Harper.
Okay, Kenneth Harper is from humble beginning, from a community they call Sweet Home or Green Valley. This community is in the north east St. Catherine, at the bottom of St. Catherine, St. Andrew. Now I grew up with my father was a farmer, my mother was a domestic helper. About 9 years of age, I was born a twin to a boy. He's now deceased approximately 2 years ago, sadly. But we were at Sweet Home, we were, used to doing our little hustling to help the family. While my father was a farmer, he abandoned his family when I was 9 years old. So left my mother to man 7 children, including 4 boys, 3 girls. I take up responsibility with my twin brother to start a little planting and farming, while we go to school, and we usually, plant like pumpkin and so on, and we sell those things to make lunch money. At the age of 12, we actually did fail our common entrance because we never go to school very regular. But we attend the Glengoff Secondary School, and when we realized what life was, we start to work very hard at our education. Now, at the age of 14, because we didn't go 7th grade, we were repeating grade 6 to receive common entrance at the 6th grade level. But when we ready to receive, they said we were too old. So we move on to grade 8 at the secondary, Glengoff Secondary High School. Not high school, sorry, Glengoff Secondary at the time. Now it's a high school, but it was a secondary school then. So we were doing fine at the 8th grade, 9th grade. So we reached the 9th grade. We met someone by the name of Mr. Donaldson from Oberlin High School, and he heard of our grades that we are doing well at Glengoff Secondary, because we actually took this Glengoff Secondary to the first time in history to go to to go on a school quiz with Dintil High School. We went there and we do our best. However, they just beat us by about 2 marks in the school challenge quiz. But it's the first time Glengarve Secondary has ever entered school challenge quiz, because me and my twin brother was on board that school challenge quiz. We moved from Glengarve Secondary at 10th grade, and we repeat grade 10 at the Oberlin High School, and where we finished our education, and we were successful with the CXC exams. And we, after leaving school, my first job was a pre-trained teacher at the Grateful Primary School, where I attend after. That's my first school that I attend, the Grateful Primary. Then we move on to the grade 7, grade 8 at the Glengarve Secondary School. But after leaving school, I did 3 months at the pre-train level as a teacher, and then I made the admission to the Mutual Security Bank, where I was, I was successful there too on an interview. So I spent about 7 years at the Mutual Security Bank from 1990. In 1997, they moved on to NCB. There was a merger there, so I moved over to NCB. I spent 13.5 years in the bank doing fixed deposit investments, bank teller, and all of that. So I have some banking experience. Now, in 2003, I decided to leave the bank and to go into my own business, which I started to do construction. I learned construction from age about 14 years old. I was living with my uncle, and he came down from England, and he was building walls and fixing up his house. So I get a hands-on training. So I started to build walls and started to build houses as well. So I eventually moved into construction, and thereby I was able to learn the trade doing construction. I built my own house. I built several houses for my co-workers at Summit. I work at Guardsman Armored as well. I built some houses for them too. And people in my community and across Portmore, where my bigger brother was there doing construction too. So I get some experience from him, and I use my time and my talent to build houses and do construction, do plumbing, do tiling, and they're about all the different areas in the architectural field. I learned them, so I was able to transform my life into what I am today. And I'm going to try and put out energy. I left construction about 2011, and I went into JUTC to do a drive course, and I was successful. So I was a single operator for about 7 years at the JUTC. However, in 2018, I got sick with strokes, 2 strokes. So I left JUTC, and I started a juice business, having got sick, to contribute to my health. I started a juice business with coconut water and natural juices to balance people's life and my health. So I learned that it is most important that we eat healthy, because when I was a driver, I never spent enough time to manage myself and to eat properly. You didn't have time to go to the bathroom. When you are a driver, you don't have access to restroom on the road. So I got sick, and I learned to manage my health. Having recovered from sickness, I start to balance my life, my health, and I am now trying to balance other people's health. So I started this juice business, and I also start a farm that the father had some land that he got from his father, and he bought some for himself. So I start to build a legacy that will leave back for my children. So I am now planting coconuts. I'm on a mission to plant 1,000 coconut trees, and I'm developing the farm with other fruits, other plants, sorrel, coconuts, yam, bananas, planting, whatever that is grown in the community. In I'm on a mission to fix Jamaica, to feed Jamaican people, as Jesus said to Peter, "Do you love me?" And Peter said, "Yes." So he said, "Feed my people." I'm in on the mission of feeding the Jamaican people. So I'm building a farm and a juice factory, and by extension, I'm developing this property to show my skills and my talent to the Jamaican people. So I'm a spiritual man. I'm a church man. Some people call me prophet because I always prophesy things and they always come to pass. So whatever I got in a vision and it also manifests. So a very powerful man in faith. I believe in God. I believe in transformation. I believe in faith, and I know that there's a God, and I know that God is gonna change Jamaica. Having learned about the crime and the situation in Jamaica, I know that God is on the job. I see the coming of the UIC. That means there's a avenue for Jamaica to be transformed. The PNP won't do it, the JLP won't do it. So I know that there is um there is a option that is available to Jamaican people for them to use it. And I think, having known about you, Mr. Patterson, my spirit has connected to you with the UIC and the manifesto and all the different mission and vision of it. It's all connected to my spirit. So I know that since God has moved me rags to riches, but I'm getting there. By God's willing, He has raised me up from sickness, almost death, by 2 strokes in 2018 to do wonders. And I thanking God that I'm in a position now to fix what was not fixed by my parents, by my um, brothers and sisters, that was not fixed by my grandfather, that was not fixed by the politicians. I'm here to fix the problems that seems impossible.
Wonderful. Thank you very much, Mr. Harper, for sharing that. I'm tempted to ask you to prophesy as to how the UIC is going to do in the next election, and to prophesy on how we're going to do in our respective constituencies. But I won't do that. What I'm going to say, though, is that you have an impressive track record of overcoming the odds. You didn't get a nice start in your early years, but you have demonstrated that you have the capacity to come back from behind and to rise up and to take advantage of whatever opportunities present themselves to you, from construction to running bus to now operating a very thriving juice and farming business. Quite impressive, and I'm sure you can teach a lot to those in your constituency and the rest of Jamaica as to how we can turn our hand and make fashion under any condition. So hats off to you, sir, on that, which leads to my next question. What is it that attracted you to the UIC? I know you alluded to it earlier in your comment, but be a little bit more specific. What attracted you to the UIC?
Okay. Well, is the most thing that attracted me to see is the lead of the UIC that was led by your tenure. When I listen to you, you sound revolutionary. You sound you sound decisive in what you do, and you don't put up with, call it in Jamaican term, bullshit, and which is like a no nonsense man. And I like people that are, you know, straight, lick the nail on the head, get things done straight up, get straight up, and not you know, beat around the bush. You know, the government of Jamaica, is reluctant in doing the right thing in Jamaica, in terms of you know, fixing the roads, giving the people what they need, and getting the facilities done to the, you know, the desire of the people. They should be led by the request of the people, and they don't listen to the people. And I am happy that you have listened to your candidates, you have listened to the NEC, you have listened to the request of the you know, the followers, and you put a manifesto that is very attractive, the 10-point plan, which if and when implement in the constitution, I think it gonna meet the demand of most Jamaicans. What we need for over 8 million with freedom, we are struggling with property, to own property. We are struggling with too overtaxed. We are struggling with trying to know ourselves, what we would want in life and how to attain it. And you know, people leaving school without proper education, not getting, you know, the achievement levels of the qualification that they purposefully set the education in school. You know, you have to get 4 or 5 subjects, and even if you get those, when you try to apply for a job, they are telling that you need a diploma, you need a second degree, you need a first degree. So it's always a challenge getting qualification, no matter how educated you are in this country at this time. So with the UIC say that all child leaving school should have a job or go on a job experience, those things kind of, you know, connect to my senses, connect to my dream, to know that people will be transformed. I mean, transformation. Even though since I was born, God is using me to transform my life and others. And I think the UIC is a transformation party, and not just a handout party. It's a transformation party where you build in, you invest into it, and they will you know, they will actually do the work that the Jamaican people really deserve.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Harper, for that. It leads me to my next question. 2 questions, really. I'm going to combine them into one. Why did you choose to offer yourself as a UIC council candidate for the St. Catherine Mount Industry Division, and why didn't you join one of the 2 well-established colonial parties and seek to run for office under their umbrella? Again, you have alluded to this in your previous comments, but be a bit more explicit as to, you know, why have you chosen this path when you could have, you know, tried the other path like other people, young people. By the way, you and I are the same age, eh? You're 52, I'm 52 as well. I guess you were born in what, 1970, I think?
1971.
Oh, 71. Okay, so right, 1971, that's correct. I don't know why I'm saying 70. But yet, what month in 71 were you born?
What
month?
I was not attracted any at all to the other 2 parties, because the first thing, I'm a churchman, man of God, and not only that, people see me as a prophet, and I always say that um, church and the politics does mix, because politics is corrupt, and but I am led by God to join a party, and I feel a certain anointing over me to join the UIC. It's just that when I read the manifesto, it's almost like gospel, doing the right thing, and I always want to do the right thing. Um, two parties, they make promises, they don't fulfill them. They're getting a bit tardy and tardier every day. They are not doing their responsibilities. I'm living and I'm seeing that they are failing. The PNP has failed, and it doesn't make sense going back to the PNP. The JLP has now failed us again. They too fail us miserably in terms of delivering from the promises that they made. They fail us in COVID, and they tell a lot of lies. And the lies that they tell is so presumptuous, and even the fool can know that it's a lie, but because they use money and trick the people, and they buy votes, and they use power, the power of money to all people into into their voting, to get people to just do things that are crazy. But they don't vote for issues. They don't vote for promoting water system. They don't vote for road reconstruction or garbage collection. They don't vote for cleanliness of the nation. They don't vote for to have a better system or a better constitution. They don't vote for to have freedom. They just vote because they are being paid to vote. The UIC is not a bribery party. I don't believe in bribery. I don't believe in scamming people. I don't believe in telling lies. I don't believe in telling lies. What I said, I will do. And if I can't do it, I will not say I know what I can do. And then not only make what God can do, because there are times when things seems impossible and I call upon the Lord and He come through for me. That's why I go by the word or the name prophet. Because even when storm is coming to Jamaica, and when I pray and I get some answers from the Lord said, arise and rebuke the wind. And I remember in 2016, I rebuked Hurricane Matthew and said, don't touch Jamaica. And I could have, actually, when I said that, after I was driving JUTC bus at that time and doing a last trip from Papillon coming to Halfway Tree, and the Lord spoke to me. He said, stop the bus, ask them to call upon my name 7 times and pray. And I did that right at the Jamaica College. And when I feel that anointing come upon me, and when I asked the church, the number of the bus load of people to pray, to call on the name of Jesus 7 times, and then I prayed. And I said, Hurricane Matthew shall not touch Jamaica. It was like 50 kilometers away. And when I say amen, I drive off the bus, and I could actually see the Lord standing in the middle of the sea and saying to Hurricane Matthew, detour. It hit 80, and about 11,000 persons were dead. But Jamaica was spared. In 2022 again, there was a storm by the name of Ian coming. And I prophesied that there was no storm hitting Jamaica for 2022. And it came very close to us, under 50 kilometers away. And I said, God, remember, so you said there was no storm coming to Jamaica. If it come to Jamaica, I'm going to be like a false prophet. And He said, arise, rebuke the wind. And I wrote it down in my Bible. All storm headed for Jamaica, bound and cancelled. And it was bound and cancelled and never touched Jamaica. In 2022, Hurricane Ian did not touch Jamaica. So I've prophesied a lot of things, and it happened, So I said he said I should join the UIC, and I get a lot of discouragement. not to join because of they tell me that the leader is not transparent and this and that. But he said that I should join the UIC, so I am sticking by the UIC. I'm sticking by Jamaica. I don't really, from I was born, I don't go to an easy test. I was born footway, um, the only child of 7 for my mother, the only child that born footway. The others were born headway. So I'm a man of purpose, and I have a drive, and that I will not rest until everything is completed, the vision is accomplished. When we can say, well done, good and faithful servant, we have fight a good fight and we have finished our course. And we are not stopping until Jamaica is being set free from crime, violence, unemployment, high price rising, and things that are, we want to build a clean, safe society for everyone to live and raise their family and do business.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Harper. I see a question here from, can you mute for me, from Miss Ann Gore. She's asking, do your constituents engage with you about the UIC? You saw the question from Miss Ann Gore. She's asking if your constituents engage with you about the UIC.
Okay, not all my constituency, because I haven't got the chance to really go there to do much canvassing. But the little canvassing that I have done in Cassava River, Glengough, and it's just the environs around Glengough, I'm getting positive feedback. Some of my relatives that me know that I'm coming from very far. They said you're going to win. You're gonna do well. The Lord is with you. There's a man by the name of he was a laborite, and he's looking at me, and he was one of the one that want to run for candidate in Glengough. Over the many years, yeah, he was not successful, but he's telling me that I am going to win. So I have no doubt that when I start to canvass my era, the people will buy into my message that I come to deliver and set free. I come to expand Glengough, taking back Sweet Home that was abandoned by the government or the governments over the past 80 years, because people actually move out of Sweet Home, Green Valley, because of no road conditions. Is only about 2 houses left in an area of about, say, 300 acres of land. People actually move out because of just the river was one of the problems. We were bargaining to get a bridge to go over the river from the 70s, and no bridge was presented to us. So I am coming to rebuild Sweet Home. I'm going to rebuild Green Valley, and I'm going to set those who are inspired to come back as return residents from abroad, and those who move out in other places of Jamaica and who wish to come back to rebuild Sweet Home. I promise that that's my #1 target, to rebuild the community of Sweet Home, Green Valley, where I came from.
Okay, thank you for that. You mentioned earlier on that you got a lot of pushback from persons saying not to join the NEC, not to join the UIC, and so on. And one of their comment was that I'm not transparent and so on. Can you elaborate on that for us? So we understand what people are saying, what their concerns are. Are those persons persons who were a part of the UIC or persons who are not in the UIC and so on? Give us a feel for what's happening there.
Well, some of them are from the UIC. Some of them were executive of the UIC. Some after my own colleagues, them my friends who support me in buying my juice, I said a third party will never win in Jamaica. But I tell them that with me on board, I know that God will not fail me. I know that uh, I'm a sleeping giant. A lot of people don't know me, but I'm a sleeping giant. I don't go around telling people about my possession, my estate, and all of that. But I'm a sleeping giant, and whatever I put my hands to, or whatever I put my intention to, it shall be a success. So I know that when I really hit the road, I'm going to make something that is big, and I'm successful for the UIC. A lot of people are saying that the leader of the UIC was the problem. Why, especially those who were in the UIC, is saying that the transparency is not what they wanted. It is like any other party, or the other two parties, because the funding that is um, garnered from sponsors, they don't see where it went, and because they said because you denounce your your leave from public life, and you're still into politics, or are you still in the UIC? They're saying that you should, if you leave, you should leave. But I'm happy that you are still around. In my opinion, I'm happy that you're to offer guidance. You're still here to offer um, protection and to see that the constitution of the USC is protected. Not like Mr. PG that left politics and he doesn't business with Jamaica because his intention or his plan is abroad. So he is not investing in Jamaica. You have invested in Jamaica. You build a house in Jamaica. Others also don't have no interest in building Jamaica because they might, when they finish public life, they want to go abroad. But that's why they want to mash up Jamaica. But I have no intention to leave Jamaica. I can tell the world that I have no intention to leave Jamaica. I am building the walls of Jerusalem right here in Jamaica. I'm rebuilding the core values of the society, where we have a free, orderly society, disciplined one with bring out the best in us, and to, for us to excel. We are not underdogs, we are overcomers. There are many bright, brilliant people come from Jamaica, and the world is watching us, and we are world leaders, and we just need to just put our shoulder to the wheel.
Thank you very much for that, Mr. Harper. Just picking up on what you just shared with us. You can mute your mic for a second. Just mute your mic for a second. You said some of the persons that were concerned about my leadership referred to lack of transparency and that the funds. Can you mute your mic for me, Mr. Harper? Just mute your mic for me a second so we don't get the feedback. Please and thanks. So they spoke about the lack of transparency in the leadership of the UIC, and they spoke about they don't see where the monies go in the UIC from our sponsors and donors, as they call it. But I'd love to hear your opinion on that, since the UIC has a board, National Executive Council, made up of 11 persons or so, depending, and we have a treasurer, we have a finance committee. We have our bank accounts reconciled every month. We have an audit done every year, and we have a members meeting every year where the members have a chance to get the financial results and ask all the questions they have on any line item in the financial statements. How much more transparent could we be when this is not done by the other parties? By the way, we don't have these kind of conversations with the two colonial parties. But the UIC has always had its finances audited annually. We have always had a finance committee to review our finances on a monthly basis. We've always had a board of directors who are free to examine and ask any questions on our affairs. And it's the one area of the UIC which is stringently managed because I'm a CPA. So I have my professional designation to protect, because if I were to engage in anything fraudulent, then I would lose my designation. And on top of that, the UIC's finances are vetted by the Electoral Commission of Jamaica, which is staffed and run by the two colonial parties. We have no representation on this body, and they get access to all of our information. So how much more transparency could we have as a body? What is it that we were missing, according to these persons who are telling you that we lack transparency? What more could we have done to ensure that they felt comfortable with the level of transparency? Or is this just propaganda?
Okay, in my opinion, I think it's propaganda. I think it's especially from those who were in the UIC, I think it's propaganda. Because when I look at it, having learned financial balancing through the banks, and knowing that the two political party would be your most, call it, opponent or enemy, they would have come down on you hard. And if they don't come down on you hard to stop the finances of the UIC, then I am almost sure that the UIC is in good standing and in good representation, you know, in terms of financing, in the way they receive donation. I believe, you know, they have accounted for the monies that they receive in a way that is transparent, in a way that is in keeping with the law. Because I know that you will undergo political scrutiny from your opponent long time. So I'm not discouraged, and then I'm guided by the Holy Spirit that to say, bail. I was not sent to bail the JLP. I was not sent to bail the PNP. I was sent to bail the UIC. So I will be with you all the way, because there's a connection in the spirit. There's a connection to the manifesto. There's a connection to the 10-point plan that I would like to see manifest. You know, so all the way, let the UIC have its full share, just like the PNP and the JLP, and let Jamaica be the judge and decide. I don't want 10 years. I don't want 20 years. I don't know if I might live that long. I just want 1 or 2 terms to show what good governance is, what creation can come out of Jamaican people, our creativity, what achievement we can, you know, achieve of use our human capital, our human resources that is underused at this time by both JLP and PNP at this time.
Thank you, Mr. Harper. Go ahead and mute your mic again for me. I'm going to ask you 2 more questions in one, but mute your mic for me before I do, please. Thank you so much, Mr. Harper. You know, one of the challenges we have in this country, since I've been trying to build this UIC movement, is that people tend to hate accountability as much as they talk about it, and they hate transparency, and they hate discipline and order and good management. And so when you have discipline and order and accountability and good management, they turn it around and try to say you are not accountable and you're not transparent and so on. But there's one thing that nobody can say about my leadership with any credibility is lacking in accountability. Because from the day the UIC was founded until now, one thing we have never slipped on is to ensure that every single dollar is accounted for and that we spend our monies in the most optimal way. And I'll explain something to you that I know many candidates suffer from, the earlier sets of candidates who came in and weren't stable enough to survive. One thing they suffered from, they thought that if you get $1 million, the best thing to do with the $1 million is to chop it up in pieces and give each of them to go and spend. And I said, no. The first thing you do is to make sure that you do the things that are necessary to build the organization. So, for example, we spent our money on training our candidates, having sessions, training sessions. You might recall you participated in some of those. We spent our money on collective efforts going around the country in our island tour. We spent the funds on building the infrastructure of the party, our website, our streaming technology, which is very expensive. This that we're talking on right here will easily cost us $300, $400, $500. Our database system that we put in place right now costs us $312 every month. So these are recurring expenses, and we're paying for them on a very small budget. So the UIC has not had a lot of money to spend and just flitter around the place. Candidates might want posters. If you print one decent set of posters for one candidate, there's nothing left for the entire budget to spend on the recurrent expenditures of the organization because we don't have a lot of money. So these persons are fighting over $3, $4, $5, $6 million for the year. That's what they're fighting over because they wanted access to this little bit of money to do with it what they think is best, as opposed to what a board think is best. Because I don't make the decisions. The board makes the decision. When we meet as a NEC, National Executive Council, we, the board, sit down and discuss and allocate funds and decide what we're going to do with it. And that's how monies are spent. It's not Joseph Patterson. But when people want to do evil, my God, the things that they will do and say. But let's continue. My next question for you, Mr. Harper, is this. Tell us what is the vision of the UIC and why that vision resonates with you. And then I want you to share with us the mission of the UIC and why you think all Jamaicans should become aware of that mission and understand that mission. So first, the vision. What is the vision? How it relates to you? And then what is the mission? And why you think the Jamaican people should coalesce around this mission of the UIC.
Okay, the mission of the UIC is to bring out the best in our people, the best in our children, in our fathers, the best in our mothers, grandmothers, grandfathers, the best in our people. That's the mission of the UIC, and that's my it resonates with me to bring out the best in me, the best in my brothers and sisters, the best in my community, the best in my family, the best in Jamaicans. That's the best. Not others being super human to us or better off than us or the best or better than us. We deserve the best as Jamaicans. And that resonates with my integrity, with my lifestyle, my belief. And I think God wants the best in us. He always choose the best. So we are to we deserve the best. We must say that we are the best. The the vision of the UIC, no, the mission. The mission is to make Jamaica a non-partisan constitutional republic, which the government has no power to take the life of any citizen or to stop the progress, but to just manage in a way that it will give us freedom of choice, freedom of words, freedom of action, freedom of to property, freedom to do business, freedom to promote ourselves, and to do whatever that is right, that is once it not conflicting with another person. So it's just resonate with natural being born into this world. We have a certain rights, and we must defend that right that the Lord Jesus Christ has given us to stand firm. We are the head and not the tail. We are above and not beneath. We are his children, and if we are God's children, then we deserve it. Not others of us are before us. Or I choose
Okay, thank
Jamaica
you.
as my
Thank
my
you,
role
Mr.
model.
Harper.
My
Sorry to interrupt you. I thought you were finished, but I want to say thank you for that, Mr. Harper. I mean, I love to ask this question of our candidates because the vision of the UIC is so critical to all that we do. Currently in Jamaica, and for the last 80 years under our own kind, the system of governance that they have embraced has brought out the worst in us. And so the UIC has taken the opposite of that by saying our vision is to create a Jamaica that brings out the best in all its people. So our education system, our healthcare system, our economic model, our infrastructure, the way we design our communities, the architecture, the green spaces, the parks, the markets, everything that we do under a UIC governance model is designed to bring out the best in our people, to realize our greatest asset as our people by investing in developing each life. Even before the child is born, our policies seek to address the prenatal needs of that child, ensuring that both the mother and father are healthy and are developing healthy genes to pass it on to their children, and that the child is well fed, well nourished, so that they can have the best development of their brains, so that they can thrive and learn and grow and be outstanding. And so that vision of a Jamaica that brings out the best in all its people influences all the rest of our policies. And then our mission now becomes a bit more technical because it's now using words that sometimes we're not all au fait on. Non-partisan, constitutional, republic. Of course, non-partisan means we want to build a system that tears us away from the tribal divide of the colonial divisive partisan model. And we want a system that is constitutional. So you don't have willy-nilly where whoever come in just make up something and mess up our lives as they see fit. We want a constitution which is foundationally set to protect our fundamental rights, to protect you as a sovereign creation, and me as a sovereign creation, and each of us as a sovereign creation, so that as a collective, we're duly sovereign because as individuals, we're treated as sovereign. And that's the nature of a constitutional republic. The republic side of it means that the purpose of government is to protect the life, liberty, and property rights of every citizen, and to do so equally. And if you protect each citizen from every other citizen and protect our borders from those outside who might try to influence us or any way, shape, or form infiltrate and hurt us, that we have a system of governance that gives us a army, that really protects our borders, a police service that really protects our rights internally, and the education, healthcare, and economic model that allows us to achieve our full potential as individuals. So that's what captures our vision and mission in one. And you have spoken to that. Now, I notice you mention a lot on the religion front, and some persons might be confused because we're not a church, we're not a religious movement, but we respect your right and the rights of every Jamaican to have what we call religious liberty, the right to worship as you choose, who you choose, or what you choose. And so that's why the UIC is welcoming of all religions, as long as those religions do not include the use of force or fraud to infringe on the life, liberty, or property rights of anyone else. So the Christian religion, the Muslim religion, the Rastafarian religion, whoever they are, as long as your religion or your lack of religion does not result in you using force or fraud to violate the rights of anyone else. So like you know, as a candidate, you love your God and you worship your God openly and freely, but you will not use that commitment of yours to deny another person their right to worship their God in the way that they see fit. So they might not call their God Jesus or Jehovah. They might call their God Krishna or Muhammad. And you, even though you are a Christian yourself, you're going to respect their right and do nothing to interfere with their right, even though you strongly believe in your own Christian values that they may not share. And the same thing goes for the Muslim, or for the Hindu, or for the Buddhist, or for the atheist. They must, by the laws of the land, a UIC land, respect your right to your God and your religion and your freedom to worship as you see fit. What are your thoughts on those, Mr. Harper?
Okay.
Unmute yourself, Mr. Harper. We're not hearing you. Unmute.
Okay. I know who my God is. As one of the prophets of old said, some trust in chariot, some in horses, but I or we will remember the name of our God, and him alone we shall call. So if I'm not going to interfere with any other person who decide to choose another God, but for me and my house, he said we will serve the Lord. So I know for sure what God's brought me from. So, but I respect other religion that other people believe and their custom that they practice. The Bible also says, "Let our light so shine before men that they may see the good work." They come and see that that what I'm doing is not by my own power, but is by the power of God. Then they will on board one day. Yeah, I understand the various religion beliefs, customs. People may believe into what they want to believe, but one of these days we will all know the true God. One of these.
You know, one of the most divisive things on earth is religion, as well as political parties. Um, people kill each other over religion and kill each other over political parties. Can you mute your mic for me, Mr. Harper? Mute your mic for me. Remember to mute after you finish speaking because of the feedback. So people kill each other over race. You know, they have racial problems. You know, you are dark and I am light skin, and so we now have a problem. You are from the south side and I am from the north side, so we have a problem. You are Jew and I am a Palestine Palestinian, so we have a problem. You're a Christian and or Protestant and I'm Catholic, so we have a problem. So people have all these things that causes and creates division. And the UIC wants to do three things in Jamaica. We want to unify the Jamaican people. We want to liberate the Jamaican people. And we want to empower the Jamaican people. Those three words mean a lot to me personally. And unity doesn't mean that we conform to the same religious beliefs or that we conform to the same cultural practices or that we conform to the same diet. Unity for me means we appreciate the need for good governance. Because when you have good governance, people who have differences can live together in peace. And by differences, I mean you may be tall, I may be short. You may be black, I may be white. You may be Jew, I may be Gentile. You may be, you live in this community, I live in another community. But if we learn the value system of the UIC, which is I have the right to do whatever I want with my life, with my freedom or liberty, and with my property, so long as I do not use force or fraud to infringe on your life or your liberty or your property. And if the two of us respect that, the 3 million of us respect that, we have unity because now we can work on the things we share in common, such as a good police service to protect both of us, all of us, a good healthcare system to allow all of us to live our best lives, a quality education system that allows our children to learn and master the skills they need to be good citizens, a good, strong army that protects our borders to prevent infiltration or the wrong things coming in or going out, and so on. So we can focus on the real issues, the things that gives us all the freedom, the safety, the security to live our best lives while understanding that we're going to have differences of opinion on other matters that are personal, like our religion or our choice of food. Like, for example, I'm a vegetarian. Many Jamaicans are not vegetarians. I do not intend to force the other share of Jamaica to become vegetarian. That's my personal choice. Do I think it's a good choice? Yes, it's a great choice. It has served me well. It has been the best diet, in my opinion, that anyone could choose. But that's my personal choice. I should not seek to force that choice on others. But as you rightly said, Mr. Harper, let my light so shine, because others now may see that my choice of diet has proven to be a good one and say, you know what, go on, try Mr. Patterson, try, and let them try it. But not because I forced them, not because I pressured them, not because I made them uncomfortable in their own space because of my own choices. So I try to make sure that my choices, my personal choices, remain my own. And I am free to tell you about it if you want to hear. And I am free to teach you about it if you want to be taught. And I have a responsibility not to pressure you or unduly make you uncomfortable by imposing my views upon you. And if all of us respect each other that way, as you said, Mr. Harper, it will happen. Persons will see the light of Jesus Christ shining in you, the character of Christ shining in you. They will see the love. They will see the joy. They'll see the peace. They will see the self-control. They'll see the faithfulness. They will see the goodness. They will see that rich personality that puts them at ease, that shows the patience that you have, the love that you have for your fellow human. And they'll say, you know what, I want to know him no, or I want to know him a smoke in some cases. But at the end of the day, you will impress them, not by force, but by demonstration in your own life. That's what the UIC teach. And funny enough, if one studies the Bible carefully, they'll see that the God of the Bible is one who gives people choices and respect their choices. and allow them to live out the choice that they choose. And sometimes the choice you choose leads to some bad outcomes. Eh? If you smoke, for example, you might end up with lung cancer. If you eat greasy food that clogs your arteries, you might end up with heart failure. But if you choose to have a plant-based diet and exercise regularly and have a good mental attitude, you might end up with a better outcome, longer life, healthier life, and so on. But the choice must always be the individuals to make. Do you agree, sir?
Totally agree. Government must stand neutral into domestic affairs in choices that people make, affairs that they are personal choices. Government must stand neutral. Because it's the right of the human being to choose whatever they want to choose. Just like God made, He give us free will to choose whether if you want to choose Satan, He tell you that if you choose Satan, you're gonna go to hell. If you choose me, He said, I am life. So we should choose the right thing and do the right thing. So I stand with the UIC with mutual. I stay with the mutuality. Yes, I'm agree.
Thank you so much. Let's move on to another question now, Mr. Harper. I would have asked you, let me ask you anyways. You can mute your mic. The UIC has some core values, and we kind of touch on them earlier. Remember to mute your mic from here because of feedback. Please and thanks. And my friends who are watching, I hope you appreciate us going through this kind of discussion, because you need to know who the candidates are and how they think and what drives them in order for you to assess whether or not you want such persons to be your representative. And your feedback to us will help us also, when we're looking at people for candidacy. So this is a good experience. So my next question is, what are the core values of the UIC? And we've touched on them a little bit, but what are the core values of the UIC, and how do those values support your own personal values? Go ahead, Mr. Harper.
Okay, the value of the UIC is to bring out the best in us, or the best in the citizen of Jamaica. And my core value is to bring out the best in me. Show the world that I can do better, I know better, and I am about to better. Do this now and forever. That's my
Okay, thank you, Mr. Harper.
doing the right thing.
There's no doubt that the vision, as you have reiterated, the vision that you have reiterated is exactly our vision. But when we talk about core values, we have some core words that we normally refer to. So one of them, or one phrase that underlines our core values, is the phrase that says, we protect individual liberty and promote personal responsibility. I think my brother Romans like to say individual sovereignty and personal accountability. That's the way he puts it, which I agree with. So the first part of our core values is that we exist as a movement to protect your individual sovereignty. That is the foundation principle of the UIC. You see, we're not a party that's here to just seek power, to just get power and hold on to government so we can have access to your tax dollars. We actually are a principled political movement. We're here first and foremost to let the Jamaican people know that you are sovereign. No monarch, no sovereign over you. No parliament, no sovereign over you. No president, no sovereign over you. No big shot, no sovereign over you. No well-educated person, no sovereign over you. No dunce, no sovereign over you. You, as an individual, whoever you are, whether you're born on a Blake Road in the inner cities of Kingston, or if you're born in a Mount Industry Division in the rural part of St. Andrew, or if you're born in a Gimmibit in St. Catherine, or you're born in a Lloydersville, it no matter. You are a sovereign person. You have the right to be respected all around. Like, like a country is a sovereign country, and that country must make decision for itself about itself, and nobody can come and say, no, we want to change what you want to do with your country. Just so you as an individual, so you have the right to your self-determination. You have full dominion over your body. That's why in the UIC, we will die to protect you from anybody injecting you with anything. We will die in protecting our rights to having a monetary system that doesn't include spying on you or controlling your spending choices. So we don't embrace no digital currency that's going to take away your freedom of choice and being able to control you. We're opposed to communism and socialism and dictatorship, any system that gives a small group of people the right to control your life. We say no to that because you're sovereign. You're a sovereign human being. And the God who created you has given you those self and inalienable rights to determine your own future. So that's why we say individual liberty and personal responsibility, because of course, with freedom comes responsibility. And one of your core responsibility is to respect the life, liberty, and property rights of everybody else. Then we talk about equal rights. So all of us, rich or poor, so-called upper or lower class, elite or non-elite, the laws must apply to all of us equally. We must have the same rights and the same obligations to respect the laws of the land, and the justice system must treat us the same way. So equal rights, equal opportunity. So the country must be designed so anybody can grow and earn. So it's a meritocracy. So you grow by merit, not by special connections, not by you being in this party or that party or being affiliated with this group or that group. You must be able to rise in your country, upward mobility, by your own ingenuity and effort, and not because of any special association or connection. So equal opportunity and equal rights and equal justice for all of us. That is the standard that governs the UIC as a movement. That's what we teach, that's what we stand for, that's what we fight for. And finally, another part of our core values, remember the first two is individual liberty, the second one, equal opportunity, equal rights, and equal justice. And the third one, we want a safe, clean, and orderly society because we believe cleanliness, personal safety, order in our society for efficiency is important for us to maximize not only our personal abilities, but maximize our collective strength as one Jamaica because we're stronger together. So I want a society that A, protects your sovereignty, B, holds you accountable, C, ensure equal opportunity, equal rights, and justice, and D, your environment must be safe, clean, and orderly so you can go about maximizing your personal ability. So those are our values. Now, what do you think about those values, Mr. Harper? Do you share those values? Do they connect with you? Or do you have a different set of values that guides you? Because there's some people, they believe in communism, where we give up our rights to the government, and then they say they will dictate to us what we should do. Some people love the system there. The UIC said no. Some people want dictators. They want somebody who think for them and make all the decisions for them, and they just become robots or little minions. We say, no, we don't want that. Some believe in socialism where the government says, here's a 5-year plan of how we're going to make you better, and you just fall in line and we control everything. The UIC said, no, the best outcome in a society is when you empower everybody with the freedom to choose. So some will choose to go into aeronautical engineering, some into farming, some into this. Not any small group of people dictating what all of we must do, but rather empowering all of we, and then give us the freedom to choose. And let's see the mosaic of outcomes that will be produced. What are your thoughts, Mr. Harper?
Okay, the UIC has said about the core values. I endorse it because we need to have our own freedom to choose what goes on, especially in our body. And I like the stance that you and the UIC took, especially when we COVID, and they were saying get vaccinated. And it was vaccination, especially this vaccination. I was strong against it. It was revealed to me from 2016, even before it came, that the vaccination, not the vaccination, it was revealed to me that this so-called COVID, it was revealed to me that there would be a monster coming, that it would be respiratory, it would be it would be for man to man. In 2016, I got the vision. I saw a monster sick unto death with a respiratory illness, and before he dies, that monster resembled that of an elephant. He breathed out something very contagious out of his nostril. And the Spirit of God said to me that if I catch it, other human being will catch it. So in the vision, I have to take for myself. I have to run from it. However, I should stay clear of it, and I will not catch it. It will not harm me. I went through 2018, 2019, the COVID came. The Spirit of God said to me, said, this monster that is in our world today, it represents China. That you saw in the vision in 2016. So I had a hands-on experience with that COVID thing, and when it was mandated for us to take the vaccine, I can tell you, I was totally against it. And I told my family, don't take it, because it's a weapon. However, the PMP and the JLP, they go ahead and they push it as mandated, or try to let us know that it's very important, and if we don't take it, else we might lose our job, we might lose our life, we might lose whatever. But I was warned in the vision not to take it, and I appreciate getting that vision. I appreciate it telling my family, my friends, not to take it. Yes, and they didn't take it. Some of them went and take it and get sick. I like the stance of the UIC saying, we are not embracing this mandatory vaccination because we have the right sovereignty. Yeah. So when I heard that from your mouth as leader of the UIC, I said, yes, this is the man to be with. I like the stance. because I was, you know, inspired by God to avoid it. And one of the reasons he said, build a Jewish company to make natural resistance against this virus or this so-called monster that they call COVID. And it helps and it works. Building your immunity was the most precious thing to do in COVID and out of COVID, making yourself naturally immune from the virus that was intended. I know it was all planned, although they're saying that it's they might say otherwise. You understand? I don't want to say exactly. They might say otherwise, but it was all planned. It's a pandemic. So I
So
totally agree with the UIC we are suffering, so we must decide what goes on in our life, in our body, in our property. We have total control over ourselves. Yes.
thank you, Mr. Harper. Now, when mute again for me. When having a pandemic is a serious matter. You know, public health is a serious matter. Could you mute for me, Mr. Harper? We're getting the feedback. Yeah, public health is a very serious matter. And can you mute for me, Mr. Harper? Just mute your mic for me, please. We in the UIC take any public health outbreak as a very serious matter. And it is the role of government to ensure that we safeguard every citizen from the possibility of any form of infectious disease that may come, be it in the form of a alien virus coming into the country or a problem developed by our own indigenous wrongdoing. For example, failure to collecting the garbage regularly, causing mosquitoes to find areas to accumulate in, having rat infestation, all kind of problems which are created by bad governance. So any form of public health issue is serious. So when this pandemic came, we didn't take it lightly. And our position was that the first thing the government needed to do was to put together a non-partisan council that brought together the political entities in the country, the health people, other professionals, scientists, and so on, and have a very transparent and open process where we examine the problem and we look at the various solutions, and then we should then, after that, educate and inform and update the public going forward. It is not the role of any government to simply take the dictates of a foreign power and say, mandate this and enforce it on your people. And mandates come in various forms. They don't have to be an outright mandate. It can just be that you make people's life difficult by using lockdowns and other punitive measures and punishments that would cause people to feel they have no alternative but to take something. The UIC says no to all of that. And again, this is all coming from our core values, our core principles. We're a principled movement. So when we say protect your sovereignty, we mean that. So while we never took a position to say that we are against any vaccine, we took a position that whatever solution comes forward should be one that can be evaluated, discussed. So the fact that those persons in power across the world were trying to take away freedom of speech, telling people they can't freely talk about the subject matter, and they're therefore going to censor people and shut up people and shut down people, that's the first red flag that went up for us, because we believe in your right to freedom of speech, the freedom to share your thoughts, your ideas. Now, you could be wrong, totally, or you might be trying to inflame the situation, totally, but you still have a right to speak, and persons can choose if they want to listen to you. So the red flag went up for us when we saw governments and big pharma and big data coming together to say they want to clamp down on free speech because they want people to channel to this one solution. Red flag. Then we see our government picking up the tune, and then our government blocking various forms of other ways of dealing with this potential respiratory thing, virus or not, whatever it is. And they didn't engage in open dialogue and discussion with the Jamaican people and providing full information and helping us all to make the choices that we think is best for ourselves and our families. They simply came with a prescription while at the same time not having any real substantive body of data, scientific data to support their position, except that their colonial masters said it. So their colonial masters said, this is what we should take. And so they come and said, this is what we should take. And then they elicit their PSOJ oligarchy friends to say, you can help us to mandate this indirectly by threatening people with loss of their jobs if they don't take it. And so the UIC had to stand up, and we stood up and we fought vigorously, and at the time held them to only 20% of the population being injected and 80% not. Not because we're saying we're against the solution they're offering, but the simple fact that they're offering that solution while preventing other solutions and failing to educate and inform and empower the Jamaican people to make a decision that's best for themselves individually. Subsequent to that, however, we then find out that the solution itself has some serious problems. And again, we also have to make sure we speak to that. So we're not anti-vax as they try to profile us. We're anti-dictatorship. We're anti-robbing our people of their sovereignty. We're anti-bad governance. But the Gleaner and others sought to project us as anti-vax because they know that there are some other people who are highly intelligent and highly intellectual who believe in what they're putting forward. And because of that, they're going to turn away from the UIC because they just hear carte blanche that we're anti this. And the UIC remains the only political party or movement in Jamaica that is actually here to protect the rights and freedom of every Jamaican, rich or poor, elite or ignorant, dunce or bright. We're here to protect the rights and freedoms of all Jamaicans. And if we do that, then everyone will have an equal opportunity to learn, earn, and grow. And that's what we stand for. And so the next time we have any form of attack on our sovereignty, as we are now having in various ways, the crime rate is getting out of hand, and the government continues to use states of emergencies because using that make it look like they're doing something, while all they're doing is curtailing the rights and freedoms of the poor and marginalized in the communities that they target, as opposed to truly protecting the lives and livelihoods of all Jamaicans. But let's continue. My final question for you, sir, before we go tonight. You know that the UIC is very principled and follows the principle of listing its manifesto long before an election. So we do not hide our manifesto. We do not come up with gimmicks every election. We have a clear manifesto, a blueprint for a new and better Jamaica, and that blueprint stands to this day. So when the next election is called, the Jamaican people would have had a chance to examine our manifesto long before any election. That's our approach. Please tell us what in our manifesto, pick 2 things or 3 things that stands out for you in our manifesto and in our 10-point plan that you personally feel very, very strongly about and want to make sure that those 2 or 3 things are fully implemented if you are elected?
Okay, number one is our student in school should obtain a job or go on a job training, on the job training. That is one of my main focus. And because when I left school, I go straight into a job. When I go university, I go into a job so that I could be able to finance myself. And I think when you are in a position to finance yourself, however small it is, you have better control over your life. You can do a little savings. You can put away things for sickness. You can have your own little health card. You can manage your financial affair in a better. The second thing is the application or the implementation of a new police service. If we are protecting our citizens of Jamaica, we need to have intelligent to protect our people. We need a police service that respects the sovereignty of our people. Whether you come from uptown, downtown, ghetto, whatever it is, not just go in and just kill a youth and say you're fine, go in parliament and tell lies and all of that. The police force to me is very corrupt. I imagine in a talk with the Lord one day, Peter Bunting was the Minister of National Security, and I heard the Lord call his name to me 3 times. I said, Peter Bunting, Peter Bunting. I must tell him that iron sharpeneth iron, but fire. He's telling me that in parable that said that they must use intelligence to fight crime. Brutal, because you have a gun, you're going to use gun to subdue probably innocent persons to death or to victimize them. And I think if we love our people more, whether it's a criminalist, you'll find a better transformation into from a criminal to a law-abiding citizen, because I know criminal can change. Because for me, growing up at age 12, I can confess that I wanted to kill my father because he never was taking care of family. And I have to go back, but God was on my side. He saw my intention that I was serious. I was planning to say when I reached age 15, I was going to kill him, and then I killed myself. But God steps in and saved me at age 12. And I can tell you I have no regret. My life has been transformed since the Lord came into my life. You know, in a spiritual way, in a physical way, in a financial way, in a political way now, you know, to transform other people that they may not go the route that they want to take. So criminal in this country, I'm saying to you, you don't have to commit crime. There are avenue, there are other alternative to from committing crime. You know, invest in yourself, in people around you, invest in your family, invest in the land, invest in your education, invest in just find yourself to be occupied. Because if you're not occupied by good forces, then evil force, he said, when you idle, the devil find you where I can give you. And the third plan in the US 10 points plan is to remove the Queen as head of state. And let us have our own constitution, our own laws, and govern ourselves. We are now an independent nation, and it's time for us to exercise that true independence, that freedom, that exercise growth, to see Jamaican bold people ahead. Here I mean, like We have the Marley, we have the superstars, we have the Shelley and Fraser, we can have great people in this country, in every community, in every we are heroes, we are overcomers, um we are we are shining stars, and we must be proud of ourselves. We have a very fertile land. We have a
Yes.
very, we have a very, very watery land space with clean water. Use up what we have, the resource that God has given us as a blessing.
Thank you, Mr. Harper. Much appreciated. Go ahead and mute your mic for me. We're out of time. We only have a few minutes left. So I want to use this opportunity now for you, our viewers, wherever you are, to rate Mr. Harper as a candidate like you've done with the others. 100%. If you are in favor of his candidacy, you think he's ready to go, you fully support his candidacy, 100%. If you have a little bit of doubt, maybe it's a 90%. If you have a lot of doubt, maybe it's a 50%. If you're 50-50. If you are extremely doubtful, then maybe it's less than 50. So this is your chance now to score Mr. Kenneth Harper, the councillor candidate for the Mount Industry Division in St. Catherine. Mr. Harper has shared with us a lot tonight about his personal conviction, his history, his background. He has shared with you his conviction for the UIC's platform or manifesto, our mission, our vision. He has identified for you some of the key 10-point plan items to him, the Youth Employment Solution Program that the UIC has, where every young person who is not going on to something meaningful should be immediately incorporated into the work world, given a paid employment where they can maximize their abilities, learn employment skills, and begin to be productive right away, as opposed to being left in their communities to rot away or to become a part of the gang culture or scamming culture or become a worthless baby mother or baby father. So Mr. Harper is adamantly against that outcome. Mr. Harper is also 100% in favor of our police service instead of the police force. We need a more intelligence-driven police service. We need a police service that's community-based, that's going to integrate with our families and children in our communities and try to stop us from getting on the wrong side of the law from the very beginning. We need a loving police force, a caring police service rather, one that is going to lift us up as opposed to brutalizing and victimizing our young men and women. Mr. Harper also pointed out the importance of us getting rid of the colonial system, the monarchy, and having a true republic, a non-partisan constitutional republic that protects the life, liberty, and property rights of all Jamaicans equally, and give us a safe, clean, and orderly space where we can live, earn, and retire with dignity right here, so in our own country, as opposed to having to run away somewhere to go make a living. So score Mr. Harper. I see 100% from a lot of people here. Janet Graham, Carol Spence, Nazook Kamoda, 100%. Wade Noble, ready for the sprint. My review, Vlog TV says Mr. Harper is one of the candidates that will reach people. 100% continue to be an honest and proud man to serve our mission. Juliet Chambers, 100%, vote UIC, Jamaica people. Respect Mr. Harper from Carol Spence. I think I see somebody give you 200%. Where are they? We can find them. I saw 200% somewhere earlier on. Sorry I missed you. Who was it? Yes, Janet Graham, 200%. Wonderful. So Mr. Harper, you have gotten the thumbs up from all the viewers who cared to give a response. Car Phil 66, he has great potential, 100%. So please continue. Even after I close off the live tonight, go back on the comment and give your comments. Don't be afraid to raise positive, negatives, give feedback on any areas so that we can learn from you and grow. So, Mr. Harper, thanks again for being with us tonight. You have gotten a resounding support from all the persons who have responded. Michael Sadler says 100%. Howard Foster, 100%. So it seems as if you have touched a chord here, Mr. Harper, and you are admired and appreciated by all those who listen to the program. Congratulations. Have a good night until we meet again. Take care. One Jamaica, stronger together. Good night, everyone, and thank you. Appreciate it. Good night, sir. Any final words before you go?
I want to thank
We're not hearing you, Mr. Harper. If you're speaking, your mute is on. Take off your mute, please. Okay, look like he's having some problems there. But everyone, thank you all so much. Have a good night. Until next time, take care. All the best.